Hello, my biddies. How are you? I'm okay, I guess. There's something wrong with the 4-year-old. A couple years ago, he was all about the Reese's cups, like the tiny ones, the little ones. He really liked those. Now all of a sudden, he doesn't like peanuts or chocolate. I even offered him like a Three Musketeers. Nope, didn't want it. All about going trick or treating. Won't eat the food. Won't eat the chocolate. Like, what is wrong with him? If anybody has any insight into this, I would appreciate it. Sorry, I don't want you to see my messy room that much. So, how is everyone? Everyone have a good day on Tuesday? Because I had a good day on Tuesday. It was awesome. It was awesome. Finally, finally, people are waking up finally to what's been going on. I don't like to get too political, but you know what's going on, and it's not good. I'm going to knock this gnome off. See my little gnome? Cute. Cute little gnome. Hello, little gnome. Not partially yellow, but he's cute. I'll put him over here. I got him from a coworker, a little young friend of mine named Dory. Now I'll have to tell her that she got mentioned and make her watch. Hi, Dory. So anyway, uh, there's something going on with my mouse pad. It's like literally not working anymore. Like I had to take the mouse pad off, and I'm just doing it on the desk. Well, it's not on the desk exactly because I have a little uh, wood tray that I keep my laptop on so I can move it back and forth from the living room to here. Um, but yeah, it's just like one of those where you go like this and this and this and that, and you keep scrolling and scrolling and it never moves. I was doing that. It's not that old of a mouse pad. It should not be doing that. It's not even dirty. But I took the mouse pad off and the mouse worked fine. So obviously not the mouse. Obviously the mouse pad. It's a black mouse pad. It should be working. It's very frustrating. I'm frustrated. Can you tell? All right. I guess we'll get into this. We'll start with our reality TV roundup. Woo! I need an emoji or something for that, don't I? Um, so we'll start with Balin out loud. Um, at the end of the last episode, she was talking to her mom about Beckner. Beckner um, is showing signs of OCD, like strong signs of OCD for an 11-year-old boy. The mom says she won't medicate an 11-year-old. Well, what if your 11-year-old needs medication? If your 11-year-old was diabetic, would you not medicate them? Like, that is so weird to me that she's being like that. Like, dude, your 11-year-old is a neat freak. It's not normal. It's not normal. And she should listen to Balin because Balin's right. The sooner he gets help for his issues, the easier it will be for him. And he needs interventions now, not when he's in high school, not when he's in college, not when he's a full-fledged adult and can't get on a plane like Balin's sister because she has such bad anxiety. Don't let it get to that point. When my kids came to me and said, I have a problem, we took them to see someone immediately, no matter how old they were. And they're so blind. Like they're saying he's high functioning. Okay, maybe, but maybe I don't think he's high functioning. I think he's suffering. I think he's suffering. He's very smart. He can fake it. He can fake it very well, but he is suffering. Because no kid goes in the room and has to have it exactly perfect before they leave the room. And they don't have to, um, you don't have to clean it as soon as they come into the room if it's not perfect. How did they not leave it perfect? I don't know. I'm confused. But anyway, the kid has problems. The kid has problems and they can be treated with treatments. Not necessarily, I mean, maybe he doesn't even need drugs at this point. Maybe you can do it with therapy, with behavioral modifications. And I don't understand how they can be so in Balin's up in Balin's business all the time and completely ignore what's happening to their other kids. Like, that's weird. Oh, shoot. I got a new thing. I almost forgot. I got a new thing. Check this out. Is that better? How's that? Is that good? I look lighted. Yeah, I got a lamp. I got a lamp. I didn't get one of those roundy lamps. I don't like those round selfie lamps. I don't like them. I think they make your eyes look weird. Personal opinion. If you like them, that's perfectly fine. I think your eyes look weird. Maybe you think my eyes look weird, but at least I don't look like they have little roundy things in them. All right. So Colin and Balin are still looking at venues. They keep asking if venues will allow pet animals because Balin wants alpacas, and I gotta get that alpaca bench thing for you. Sorry, I forgot about it again. And Colin says if Balin gets her alpacas, then I get my horse. Okay. I mean, yeah, if she has alpacas, you should have your horse, Colin. And Balin says only if it's attached to the carriage. Fair. Yes, it should be attached to the carriage. I agree with that. It also worries me that Balin's mom is so concerned about her kids talking to her about stuff. Your kids should be able to talk to you about stuff, and you shouldn't just dismiss them. And I get this. Okay, and so Colin has decided he wants to be a real estate agent, which does not come with the normal um benefits that another job would have, like healthcare, which is kind of important with Balin's issues. So I get the concern about healthcare. Um, I have a kid on the exchange. I would rather he have a job that has healthcare benefits, but he doesn't. He is an entrepreneur, and oh geez, Lauren will be here soon, and I will have to call her because that's an issue. That's a year over 18 months old. She just sent me a text. Um, and she has an issue that's 18 months old that she just talked to her therapist about. I thought her therapy was on Monday. I'm so confused with these kids' schedules. I like had all of my dates wrong. All of them wrong. I thought something was happening this weekend. It's not until next weekend. So which opens up this weekend for something that we had semi planned to do. We have birthdays this week. Yes, more than one. Okay, so I get the concern about healthcare. And like I said, I have a kid on the exchange myself because he's an entrepreneur. His wife is an entrepreneur. They don't have typical jobs, which honestly I would rather, but they're doing okay. And it's not my decision. It's not your decision what your kids do for a living. My kid is definitely not cut out to work for the man. He has opinions. So he's better off working for himself and working for himself and being the boss. And he's a good boss. I had to work for him last weekend. He's a good boss. Last weekend, weekend before last. Was that only last week? It's been so long. It's been such a long time. Oh, yeah, life is kind of crazy right now. But that's okay. Maybe someday it'll slow down. It's never slowing down, just so you know. Adulting is hard. Poor Beckner. Balin has the right attitude about getting him help sooner. Their parents should take a hint. Parents should definitely take a hint. So Balin, you can tell Balin's mom is itching to take over the wedding planning. You can just tell. But is holding herself back, which is good. So they go look at a venue closer to her parents' house. Now the first venue they looked at was gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It would make a gorgeous place for a wedding, but it's expensive. So they go and visit her family, and his mom seems so nice. She seems so sweet and understanding. His family seems like really, really good people. She has chosen well. Take a hint, girls. She has chosen well. Colin is a stand up Green flags for Colin. Green flags all the way. I'm not saying he's perfect because he's not. Nobody is, but definitely better than most, maybe. um, this goes back and forth because the episode goes back and forth. So anyway, Colin goes. They go visit his parents for dinner. Um, I think it might have been somebody's birthday. I can't remember why. And they say, "Well, there's this venue near us. Why don't you see if they can accommodate a visit before you leave?" And they did. They went, and then Colin invited his mom and sister to come, which kind of upset Balin because she has kept her mom out of it. But I don't think mom and Colin's mom and sister want to take over like Balin's mom does. So I think it's okay, but I understand Balin's is upset about it. And that's, I mean, she has every right to be upset if she wants to be. Colin mentions his horse again. This one's at a barn. There's a big, huge, beautiful barn, and it looked just as good as the other one, honestly. So Colin mentioned his horse again, and his mom says, Mom agreed that it also needed to be attached to a carriage. So good Colin's mom. Thumbs up. And Colin should have told Balin that he invited them to the tour ahead of time rather than just having them show up because that's not cool. That's not cool. All right, now we're going to Seven Little Johnstons. Woohoo. Oh, I watched this morning, so I'm still like traumatized by it. So they're taking 10-month-old Leighton to daycare. And it's so traumatic to have Leighton in daycare. Like, oh my God. I have never seen people like this before. It's so weird. Jonah is adulting by going away for the weekend with Ashley. So good for Jonah and Ashley, I guess. Don't know why, but apparently they're going to miss Jonah so much that he had to set up a scavenger hunt. And if this isn't the most blatant, we are boring unless we're bullying Anna, producer demanded thing I've ever seen, then I'm blind. Oh, wait, I am blind because I rolled my eyes right out of my head because it's ridiculous. So they're doing this scavenger hunt. And I've done these scavenger hunts before, and they're really fun. And the teams are Trent and Anna, which are named the Little Cheaters. And shouldn't that be Ambitch because she cheats at everything? Ambitch and Alex are the A team. Of course they are, because why wouldn't they be? And Bryce, Liz, and Leighton are Team Turtle. They have to video themselves doing certain things, and the first one is a car wash. Bryce is not competitive, and Trent messed the directions because he was in the bathroom because they couldn't, wait till he got out of the bathroom to tell the directions. First thing off, Emma and Trent are talking about trying to cheat. Oh, that's why they're called the Little Cheaters. Got it. Trent tried to bribe the guy at the car wash, which is not cheating. Bribery is not cheating. Even Jonah said bribery wasn't cheating. Bryce doesn't know how to use the car wash at all. And Amber's car has a car wash mold, but she can't find it because it's never in the same place on their car. Like, this is ridiculous. Trent did not cheat because the guy took the $10 bribe and then let Amber go first. Oh, which is just, I bet the producers put him up to that. Producer interference, always. Alex did cheat because he opened the clue before they exited the car wash, which was so they should have been disqualified and they weren't. So the next one is reenacting their Grease video from a few seasons ago, which was totally weird. And I'm not sure how Bryce and Leighton fit into that one because they weren't in the picture. I mean, Bryce was around, but he did not do the video with them. And I've participated in and set up scavenger hunts like this before myself, and this one is lame. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. It's so bad. The next visit is a Mexican restaurant to eat jalapeno peppers. How is this a scavenger hunt? What are they looking for? They have not looked for one thing. They knew where the car wash was. They knew um, where they did the grease video and reenacting the grease video, and it was totally lame. And the next one is visiting a Mexican restaurant to eat jalapenos. You're not looking for the jalapenos. You know exactly where to go. This is not a scavenger hunt. Sorry, I'm a little bitter. So they have to eat 2 jalapenos, but the team can divvy up the jalapenos, or they can have one person eat the whole jalapeno. They're given an out because they do not have to eat the jalapenos. I think they should have made them eat the dang jalapenos. There's a 5-minute penalty for not finishing the peppers. So, um, both cheater team and A team take the 5-minute penalty, and Liz ate some dang jalapenos, and Liz should have won the whole thing because she's the only one that did everything. um, she did good. I can't stand Liz, but she should have won. So there's a 5-minute penalty for not finishing the jalapenos. Um, so Amber and Alex left first, of course. I have to go to the courthouse, which is like right across the street practically. Um, Amber and Alex won, but I still think they should have been disqualified. Liz should have gotten extra points for actually eating the jalapenos instead of taking a 5-minute penalty. And they got these giant wrestling winner belts, wrestling champion belts. You've seen them. They're like this as big as your head or bigger. They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. It's not a scavenger hunt. It was a race. This was a race, like Amazing Race. It's not a scavenger hunt. You're not looking for anything. When I set my scavenger hunt, they had to actually look for things I knew they could find, but they had to look like for in a city. It was a metro area. Um, a horse, a live horse. Well, I knew that the police horse, where the police horses were nearby. They were nearby in a pen in the city. I knew where they were. You could also find there were also couple little places here and there that had like ponies and stuff too. Um, yeah. Um, they had to find a lighthouse. Well, I knew where there was a lighthouse. It was connected to some company in town, and they had a little lighthouse um out in front of their business. I mean, so, things like that. But you actually had to look for them or know where they were. Um, it was fun. Everybody had a great time. I also attended a scavenger hunt. We had to take a picture of as many people as we could. We had teams like big teams, like 7, 8, 10 people or something like that. This was both of these were back before phones, before smartphones. So we had to actually take pictures. um, we had to um, take a picture with one of the elders from our church. We took it in the bathtub with the elder at his house. One of our members' dads happened to be the elder. We had to get as many of us in a phone booth as we could. We got everybody in. We were the only team that got everybody in. We had to take an unusual picture. One of the teams went to a caboose in a playground and took their picture. We took ours on the slide at the outside McDonald's play place. We won. We won. We took really good pictures. We did a really good job. We were the only ones that got all of the pictures and in interesting ways. So we ended up winning on that one. The other one I did not take part in because I set it all up. Okay. Next thing you take dinner to Nana for her birthday. Nana's so sweet. She is such a sweet person. I love Nana. She gets Meals on Wheels. There was some controversy about she stopped it, and Trent thought that they stopped it on her, but she didn't. But she's back on Meals on Wheels again. So she's eating Meals on Wheels, and she says she's never eaten so many green beans in all her born days. Such a southern phrase. It's so cute. Um, they of course bought her green beans. Like, why didn't they at least ask her what she wanted? Like, it's her birthday. Shouldn't she have the meal she wants? Maybe she want pizza. Maybe she wants some good pizza, some Jets pizza. If you're not familiar with Jets, it's good pizza. We have so many. We have at least 10 pizza named restaurants in our town. We went to Washington State to visit my niece and do a couple other things, touristy stuff in Seattle. There are no pizza places around. You cannot find a pizza place in Seattle. Got to remember to tell my friend that because her son has owns a pizza shop and he would make a killing in Seattle. They mentioned that he wants her to move in with Heidi, which is Trent's sister, and she will not leave her house. Which, I mean, I get it. I get it. People don't want to leave their houses. It starts thundering and hailing, and Nana says it's Trent's fault for being mean to her. They sing happy birthday, and oh my God, they are the worst singers. They're the worst singers I've heard in a long time. I knew some bad singers back in the day. They're as bad as they were. They were having lessons on how to sing better, and I went with them once, and it's just like, oh my. And I, at the time, not so much anymore, but I was a pretty good singer back in the day. They were not. I was tone deaf. Oh my goodness. My grandpa could sing better, and he admitted to being tone deaf. So, they're taking Leighton to daycare, and it's like the most traumatic thing on earth. And they're sure that Leighton was just thinking about him all day. Leighton was not thinking about you all day. Leighton barely has object permanence. She does not care if you were there or not. Um, the little one yesterday came in groggy because he had fallen asleep on the way over, and he was groggy and cried a little bit, but 2 minutes and he was fine. That's usually how it goes. They're not crying the whole time they're gone. Most kids aren't. Um, if they are, you have a problem because you have not attached your child very well. If your kid is crying all day long in daycare wanting you, it's a parenting problem. They don't feel secure enough that you're going to come back and get them, which is sad because they shouldn't feel that way. They should know that mommy or daddy is going to come get them. So, it says they would have kept her out if she was a little person, which is kind of crazy. There are daycares that will take disabled kids or slow kids, so there's really no reason to keep her out of daycare longer. And they would have uprooted their whole lives to do it. Yeah, my eyes are rolling out my head again. Sorry. Oh, finally, like 2 minutes to go, we get the dinner with Anna. So you know we ain't gonna finish it today, folks. Um, Alex is saying that he is not going to be gentle. He's going to be direct. How do you think that's going to go, Alex, when you attack her like that? How do you think that's going to go? It's not going to go well because Anna's not taking your crap anymore. Anna seems very open to the conversation. She seems very pleasant, kind of looking forward to it. Poor Anna. Anna does not deserve this. Anna is not a perfect person. She has done some really bad stuff, namely breaking up a household. Um, but she doesn't deserve. But that probably wouldn't have happened if she had more self-esteem, if her parents had treated her correctly. Anna starts with small talk about their college schedules, and they're barely answering her like baby teenagers talking to their parents about school. Anna and Emma are extremely uncomfortable, which just makes the whole thing awkward. It's so weird, and it doesn't need to be. Like, they could have engaged. Like, she asked, how many classes are you having? I have four. Oh, I have five. You have five? Yeah, I have five. That's not a direct quote, but it's close enough. Oh, are you going to campus? No. So it's all on us. It's all online. Yeah. Like, open up. What classes are you taking? For Pete's sake, dudes. So the coming attractions are dinner continues to go badly. Shocker. Anna threatens to leave, which I don't blame her. And Trent and Amber bought land in their neighborhood as a surprise for Bryce and Liz. These people. These people. Don't do that. That's so dumb. All right, I'm getting rid of this whole thing. I cannot. complain about these people anymore. We're done for the day for opening statements. Okay, we talk about the good things. Did you see how much Mom Donnie won by? Um, did you see um how much the redistricting thing in California won by? When people are complaining, it's just illegal. Like, no, it's not. They literally asked people if they wanted to do it. That's the last thing from illegal. Craziness. Alrighty. I guess we'll get into our Reddit reads now. I have hair. I have been losing hair. Well, it was really bad in the spring. I had been sick all winter and my hair was just like falling out in droves. You'd have thought I was a cancer patient almost. Like seriously, it was terrible. And it thought I do that every once in a while when I get sick and can't get well. My body is trying to fight it, and it's like, oh yeah, no, you don't need hair. You don't need hair. We'll just get rid of some of it. It grows back. It does grow back. You can tell like some of the hair up here is really short compared to the other hair. That's because that's growing back right there. All right. So first we have from Petty Revenge, it's entitled "Coworker from Hell Tried to Give." Sorry, of course I cannot read it right away because I'm still mad about Trent and Amber. Oh, okay. This is entitled "Coworker from Hell Tried to Get Me to Give Him a Ride, so I blew it off the parking lot without him. Blew it out of the parking lot without him." I had a coworker who one of the worst human beings I've ever met. He was very misogynistic, calling all the women that worked there girl, demanding they do things for him while he did F all, constantly flirting with them, regardless of if they were single or showed any interest, and would scream profanities in their face if they didn't fall in line. He sounds like a stand up guy, don't he? Management dragged their feet doing anything, despite the constant issues and the fact that they were aware of the quality of his work was terrible. I'm not a woman, but many of my friends are women, and when see him, I yell, "Hey, girl, go get this for me now," then pitch a fit like a toddler when they refuse. It really pissed me off, as it should. I told people I worked with to tell him if they were hit on that if he hit on them. I told people I worked with if I told people I worked with to tell him if they hit on them and wouldn't leave them alone. I can't stand that crap. I don't understand that sentence. It made no sense. I heard that he had no transportation and was pressuring people to take him home. One night he told me I needed a ride. It was midnight. Me, him, and the manager were the only people left at the end of the night. I told him I couldn't. He wouldn't listen. He followed me to my car anyway. I got in, locked the doors, and he started banging on my window like a psychopath, telling me I better effing take him home. Why? Aren't you an adult? Don't you have means of transportation for a job? Because you should. Keeping in mind it was pitch black out in an empty parking lot with no security at midnight, he could have attacked me or jumped in and stole my car, and my odds of stopping him would have been slim. I put the car in reverse, backed out, and blew out of the lot. The manager left ahead of me, so he was left in that lot all alone. Oh, you poor thing. You poor little thing. Oh, in the lot all alone, the poor thing. There's zero public transport and probably no Uber Lyft either. The town I drive to for work is completely car dependent and so anti public transportation. Sidewalks don't even exist. What, you live in Michigan? You live in Detroit area? That's what it sounds like. I didn't feel bad about it either. Your transportation is your problem. He's not a minor. He's 27 years old and he's a big boy and can figure out his business. Why is a 27-year-old that is in a anti public transportation area not have a car? You can believe he didn't ask me for a ride again or F with me. At the aftermath. This happened months ago. I want to know how it ends. Turns out he was indeed a crazy person. A viral video of him came out showing him getting out of a car. A coworker who felt bad for him gave him a ride in a fit of road rage and getting into a fist fight with another driver. right in the middle of a busy highway with the hundreds of cars swerving trying not to hit him. He was clearly identifiable, and people in the comments were using his legal name. Apparently, that still wasn't enough to fire him. He rather anticlimactically finally ran his mouth at the female general manager, and she told him to get the F out of my business and fired him on the spot. Believe me, that night I had some shots in celebration. Don't blame you. Kim V says you need to leave that place. I don't care except to make management's life. They don't care except to make management's life easier. And they answer, I've moved away and it can't come soon enough. They really do let people get away with anything. People show up whenever they want every day, even 30 minutes late, and never anything is said to them. Until it's the person that shows up on time every day and they're 30 minutes late and it all HE double hockey sticks breaks out. They disappear and go smoke outside or sit in their car and nothing happens with it. Yeah, this definitely works in Detroit. When a coworker shows up late every single day, takes 2.5 hour lunches, and disappears all the time, got double the raise I got this year, who's only been late twice in 2 years, and almost never gets called out. Believe me, I stopped caring too. Holy cow! The fat bastard, spelled with two S's and an E, says, "Sounds like my job. We have a guy who refuses to shower for months at a time, thinks that wiping his ass is gay, and infuriates every person he works with. If you think wiping your butt is gay, you have issues. You have really bad issues. He's so bad at his job, we might genuinely wonder if he is really that stupid or just trying to be as terrible as possible. Crazy thing is, management gives him what he wants. He wants to move to day shift, done. Oh, somebody else is already working that shift? No problem. Just change your schedule against their will. Day shift starts too early for him? That's okay. Just move him to afternoons instead. All our drivers hate him. Well, let's have a meeting and bitch about the drivers so no one listens to them. Sometimes I wonder if he's the secret bastard of the company or if something because no one who knows him has a single positive thing to say about him. Yeah. It's really bad when you are in a workplace and you do everything. You come in on time, you behave yourself, you do your job, and people just F off and nothing is said or done with them. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating. They don't show up. They don't tell. I had people that worked with me at the same job. We were sharing the job, literally sharing the job. I'd come in and they wouldn't be there. Like, you could have at least given me heads up, you know? You have my number. You can text me. It's okay. Say, hey, I won't be in today, just warning you. So you know what kind of day you're going to have. Instead of getting there and everything's in disarray because the guys that are filling in for them are doing their job and ours, which means they can't do either one efficiently, you know. This is from Am I the Jerk? AITJ for refusing to lie to the police to protect my husband after he caused an accident. No. I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 33 male, for 3 years. He's a good person most of the time, but he can be impulsive and has a habit of acting before thinking things through. Does he have ADHD? Last weekend, he borrowed my car to run a quick errand. A few hours later, I got a call that he'd been in a minor accident. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but my front bumper was destroyed, and the other driver's car had noticeable damage. When I got to the scene, the police were already there. My husband pulled me aside and whispered that he didn't have his license on him and had been suspended for unpaid tickets. Dude, just pay your tickets. He begged me to tell the officers that I had been driving. How was she going to do that? She showed up after in a different car, dude. These people are crazy. People are crazy. I said, absolutely not. I wasn't even there, and lying to the police could get me in serious trouble. He looked panicked and said it would ruin everything for him if he got another strike. I told him he should have thought of that before driving on a suspended license. How did you let him leave on a suspended license? When I refused, he glared at me and muttered, unbelievable. You can't even have my bag. The officer then asked who had been driving, and I told the truth that it was my husband. He was cited for driving with a suspended license and causing an accident. Since then, he's been furious. He says I betrayed him and that no real partner would have protected him. No, no. Your partner is in no way responsible for your actions. Your actions are your own. His mother called me, even saying that I should have just said it was me since no one got hurt. I don't see how lying to the police and risking my own record was the right thing to do, but now the whole family is acting like I sold him out. Oh well, bad family. Was his mother? Yeah. Yeah, he comes from a bad family. Clearly comes from a bad family. Crazy old Canuck says you are definitely NTA. Never lie to the police. It never ends well. Your husband, though, is a jerk for driving with a suspended license and asking you to lie and cover up. Unbelievably selfish of him. Yes, it is. She's correct. Or maybe he. I don't know. Canuck can go either way. We know you're from Canada. Pisces Bambi says, also, why wouldn't the other driver say it was a man driving? Did he honestly think that he would hear someone that just arrived on the scene say, I was driving and say, yep, that sounds right. This can't be real. And if by any stretch it is NTA. Oh, no, this can be real. This can be real. This happened way before AI. This kind of stuff happened way before AI. Storm Beyond Time says, in the late 1990s, early 2000s, there was a show called American Dumbest Criminals. I remember that. Also a book series. Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to look that up. Stories related from cops. A few were urban legends, but most were genuine cases with records to back them up. One of the latter was a guy who pulled over for a traffic violation. His girlfriend was with him, and somehow he went from "here's your ticket" to "time for a pat down" to see the show's title. When the little baggie of white powder was found, the guy said, "These aren't my pants; they're my girlfriend's pants." Sure, they are, dude. He was on the chubby side of approximately 200 pounds. She was maybe 90 pounds, soaking wet, furious variety. Fortunately, the guy knew better than to stick to that story. But if someone's dumb enough to try that in front of the cops and then the girlfriend in question, I can believe that someone tried this stunt. And Opie's dear hubby is a criminal at this point. And Lighthouser says they try that stuff all the time on parole. Also, I'm also not Olivia. I'm also not Olivia. That's her name. Okay, not Olivia. I'm a 911 dispatcher in a small police department and can confirm these aren't my pants. It's a running joke now. These aren't my pants. This isn't my car, officer, even though my name is on the title. All right, so this is from Entitled People, and it's entitled "Lady Wants a Free Empty Seat on a Plane." Me, solo flyer, flying internationally from Asia to the US, just getting checked in at the counter. That's a long flight. On this plane, the seat layout is 3 seats aisle, 3 seats aisle, 3 seats. So it's 9 seats across with an aisle in between each third. I asked the flight attendant if it's possible to move my middle seat to one that is a window or an aisle, but clearly state that it's fine if it's not possible. She gets me an aisle seat and I am jazzed. The woman next to me, woman and man, looks like a couple doing the same. Woman, are there any rows of three with an empty middle seat? The flight attendant says, I'm sorry, I can't guarantee any seats will remain empty. I can seat you next to each other, though. Woman, no, I want to sit with an empty seat between us. Man mutters something to her and looks kind of embarrassed. Woman, no, I like the extra room. We would be like, we would like to be seated with an empty seat between us. Make the same request to the floor flight attendant. Flight attendant told you no. No is a complete sentence. No, ma'am, I cannot guarantee that. Later, after boarding my flight, I realized that the middle seat between me and the other passenger was open and it made me smile. Lady, we all want the extra room, but we aren't entitled to it. Leave the poor customer service agents alone. Yeah. Beneficial test says, Miss, can you close the airplane's door now that we're here so no more people can come in? Oh. Tasty Mall says, be honest. We all think that if we have an empty seat beside us, please don't let anyone come on board. We just accept that universe will have its way. For sure. I was really hoping that we'd have an empty seat with my husband and I flying. We didn't have any empty seats. We did go to San Diego with the kids once. We weren't allowed to, we weren't able to sit together on the way there. I sat in the back with my husband, or with my daughter. My husband sat mid plane with my son, and the other son was like across the aisle from him in the middle seat across the aisle from him. But he was a tiny little 10-year-old. He hardly took up any room anyway. But those people were happy because he was well behaved. All of my kids were always well behaved, even when they were two. But on the way back, our plane got delayed. We all had our own row of seats coming back. Kids just laid down and went to sleep because it was late. That was the best flight ever. Probably not for my husband though. He got first class once. He got bumped up to first class on a flight once. That was his best one ever. And this is from Mother in Laws from Hell, entitled My Mother in Law Really Went Too Far This Time. One day, my daughter had to do a school project and invited her school team over to the house to do it. One of the girls on my daughter's team seemed to be Muslim because she was wearing a veil that covered her hair. While I was taught to respect the different cultures that exist, it seems my mother in law was not taught the same. At that moment, my mother in law saw the little girl passing by and very abruptly removed her hijab and told her that people like her were ruining the country. Oh my God. You did this to a little kid? I thought this was disrespectful because, to begin with, she was a little girl, and secondly, she was not imposing her doctrine or religion on anyone. Oh, that poor kid. The girl was not disrespectful of anyone, so I had to send my husband to take his mother for a walk. This incident became too uncomfortable for me, and I had to apologize to the little girl, and I felt very ashamed of how the other teammates of my daughters were looking at us. Oh my God, why would you do that? Why would you do that to anyone, but especially a little kid that's a guest in your home? It's not even your home. Maybe it's not even your home. Why was the mother in law even there? This is why you don't live with your parents when you have kids, people. Deval Deviant says you need to go non-contact with this woman and meet with the little girl's parents and apologize to them. From what I understand about Muslim culture, this was extremely traumatic for her. Her parents deserve to know what happened. And the OP says, "You're right. I'm going to talk to my husband to see what would be the best approach to talk to the poor girl's parents." And Novel Ad says, "Yeah, Lauren Baby says, hijab snatching is wild and serious assault. It is. Like, send that mother-in-law to jail." Laval Ad says, "Definitely talk to her parents so they understand you were mortified and do not feel the same. It's not only disrespectful and abusive, it can be considered assault or assault and battery or the equivalent in many places." Actually, anytime you grab someone or even something that they're wearing or something that they're holding, that is assault. That is assault. And you can be arrested for it. It's important to handle with respect and grace, prioritizing the girl's well being. You can imagine your daughter having clothing, hair ties, or a necklace identifying her faith ripped off out of her hair or off her neck and being told she's ruining a country by angry, hysterical older woman. I can't even imagine. Oh, that poor little girl. I imagine it was very scary, conflicting, and traumatic for her, especially coming from a female elder grandparent she'd never expect in a role she's been taught to respect. If your husband doesn't take this and mother-in-law's overall behavior seriously, there are real risks for legal criminal for mother-in-law or potential civil for you and DH liability. I do hope he sees it on the basis of what best for you, your daughter, how serious it is. A little girl was assaulted by her without provocation, even with provocation, even if she was like dissing the grandma. You don't assault people. You don't physically put your hands on people. If this is ignored or swept under the rug versus taken seriously and addressed, I'd expect one or more parents of her classmates to report what occurred. Squirrel. They may report to school, police, or both, especially if no one has heard you or your husband notify the teacher in school what took place and caught unaware if and when the parents call. If US, school administrators and teachers, public charter and private schools are mandatory reporters. So it is important to speak with them immediately, otherwise they are required to report any suspected abuse to police and CPS. Hopefully your husband will realize how serious his mother's behavior is. I'm sure you know better than anyone how vile she can be. So I hope that this helps your husband understand and recognize that this is far past a daughter-in-law, mother-in-law issue. It has nothing to do with you, but it can hurt your entire family, especially your daughter, as mother-in-law has already proven. And somebody answered to that, pretty sure in the UK it's classified as a hate crime. Yeah, so don't do that. Don't do that. It's really so hard to be kind to people, even people you disagree with. I mean, I talk a lot of hate about certain people online, but I don't do that in real life, and I don't touch them. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it's HR are there to protect the company, not their employees. That is a true statement. I've been struggling with my mental health for many years. Up until a few months ago, I was still able to keep on track at work, even through extreme client pressure. Then I started begging for help because I was struggling a lot. They promised to move me to a different team with less pressure, but kept moving the goalposts, telling me they couldn't find a replacement due to client requirements. This Early this morning, they ambushed me with a meeting with our HR director to give me two options. Either I get fired after a disciplinary hearing or go on disability. I've been begging for disability for months, so naturally I was really happy to go with option two, as I have a good income insurance through the company. Then the HR head bitch demanded that I get a doctor's paperwork done today. I'd already been in contact with the doctor and she couldn't get it done because she just returned from leave and had a huge backlog. The HR bitch demanded that I go to the doctor's office to get it done today. I was feeling utterly malicious when I complied, even though it meant a 2-hour drive with the distance and traffic. I got there and managed to chat with my doctor for 2 minutes in between appointments, and she requested permission to be rude to the HR bitch, and I told her to go for it. I don't know what she said in the email, but the HR bitch was suddenly very irresponsible. Now I have a full week to get the paperwork done. You cannot demand somebody do something same day. That's ridiculous. I'm happy. The HR bitch is the wife of the CEO, and the company is about to take a huge hit because the client has found alternatives. So this is going to hugely hit their bank accounts. It gives me a very happy, fuzzy feeling. I gave years of loyal service, and they are going to get their karma very soon, if even if my malicious compliance is a drop in the bucket. I'm glad they got to go to disability. I doubt this is in the U.S. because it takes months to do that. But good. And this is the thing with the snap stuff. You don't know when this is going to be you. This could be you. Who is calling me? Excuse me for a moment. Hello, you're on the air. You are on the air. Yes, I'm your daughter and you are on the air. I'm seriously streaming YouTube right now. Why not? You don't want to be popular? You're already popular. I've had to stand in line in the mall before I know you're popular. I've had to wait for you while people were standing 10 deep to talk to you. What's up? Yeah, I know. Okay. Um, yeah, I will have to check because we have not solid plans, but plans with Skylar for his birthday. So, yeah. So I will check and see what's going on. Okay. Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'll go back to reading my Reddit reads now. Say hi to Lauren. I'll tell her you said hi. That Grandpa says hi, Lauren. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Where'd she go? I know. I don't know what she's doing. Right? Exactly. She's my only watcher, and now she's gone. All right. I'll talk to you later. Love you too. Bye. Great. Now we have a complication. Okay. What was I saying? Something about disability. Um, Oh, the SNAP thing. This is the problem with the SNAP thing. You don't know when this is going to be you and when you're going to need SNAP benefits for some reason. You can't predict the future. People who say that people are lazy because they're on SNAP are crazy. 86% of people that are on SNAP have jobs. Maybe we should pay people more so they can actually afford food. That'd probably be a benefit. All right, off my high horse. I'll get down off my high horse. Off of my soapbox. Okay, this is from AITAH. AITA for not giving a crap that my kids have more at their than their step and half siblings at their mom's house. No. My ex-wife and I, both in our 30s, have had a bitter divorce. She cheated on me and tried to make me take responsibility for a child who was unlikely to be mine. Had an abortion after she realized I would DNA test that child and would end my parental responsibility if it wasn't the father. Then she accused me of making her miscarry. She tried to ask for alimony and child support when alimony was nowhere near entering the picture. She did get some child support, but we shared 50-50 of our two sons, so it was never as much as she was hoping for. She remarried and became a stepmother and a mother again. The other children are all over the place in age. Our sons are 9 and 11. Our sons have more than their step and half siblings because I can provide these things for them. We go places my ex wife and her husband cannot afford. They can do as many activities as they want as long as they actually want to do them, and I'm happy to pay for that. My kids have a gaming room at my house. They get nice birthday parties with their friends, the works. My ex wife and her husband cannot afford this, and in the last year they have been more vocal about it because the children in their home feel bad. Well, that's your fault for not explaining that to them. My ex wife and me wanted me to include the other children in the experiences I give my kids and the parties I throw for them. But we do everything separate, and I have responded via our co parenting that it is better that we continue to do things separate and that I'm not obligated to provide for their children in any way. Correct. This pressure has this pressure from her has increased since the summer when the kids and I did an extended Disney vacation, and they got a second vacation that included my parents, siblings, and their families. My ex-wife says it's disgusting that I would let the disparity continue to grow and that I show no concern for the other children involved. Get a new job, lady. Get a better job. Get a better job, make more money. It's on you. As far as I'm concerned, they are not my children and therefore not my responsibility, and my sons don't want to include them. But I'm prepared to be wrong if that's consensus because children are involved. AITA. No, not at all. Top post is from Ignoble Kitten saying, NTA, your only obligation is to your own children. Teach them to be humble and not rub it in siblings' faces. That doesn't mean they can't talk about what they have to do or do with you. It means they don't brag and be jerks about it. You're not responsible for her kids and their other feelings. Yes, your kids should not bully the other kids about it, but they also don't have to hide it. Um, hey, we went to Disney World. Hopefully those kids can go to Disney World someday. But it's not up to the ex to provide experiences and toys for your kids. 100%. The only thing I'll add to this is offer to become the primary custodian of your boys. That way, you effectively remove the issue of the other kid's front view seat. It's not your fault nor that of your boys that she and her current husband can't provide for their kids the same way. Perhaps it's time for your boys to become visitors at your mom's house. Open Trouble says, beware parent alienation. She's likely bad mouthing you to your sons. Yeah, that's a good point. And that would give him, but if she did that, that would give him custody of the boys. Okay, external says any kid who gets an extended Disney vacation and wasn't forced into it won't believe the trash talk. It only makes the chasm much bigger. Firebird Rider says depends on their awareness of love bombing and the patterns. I don't think these kids will fall for it, but it does need to be documented if she is doing this in any way. It helps OP get legal traction to protect their children. And that person answers, my son got married 3 years ago, met his wife in 2013. From the beginning, I decided it's my job to get along with her. Actually, both of them. It's not hard. She's perfectly lovely. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Very true. Very true. Won't start nothing, won't be nothing. Grandpa said to tell you hi, Lauren, if that's you. That might be Sarah. I don't know. Our next one is from Neighbors from Hell. Neighbor needs to drive over my property to get to his camper in and out of his property. I've been in this house 4 years. My neighbor has one side that's been there since the neighborhood was first built in the 80s. He has this very large RV that he stores in his side yard. The previous owner of my house and my neighbor paved over the space between our driveways to make one massive connected driveway so that he could get his RV out of the side yard. Down the middle of his mega driveway is a curb that's on his side but marks the property line. In order to get his RV out of his driveway, he has to drive over the curb and onto my property. There's no way for him to get his RV in and out without driving on my property, since it's a tight fit. He actually spends an average of 30 minutes moving it forward and backward to get the angle just right to fit, which means he is driving over that curb back and forth at least a dozen times each time he moves it. A few problems with this. One, he never asked me if it was okay when we first moved in. He just told me this is what he was doing, and he had an agreement with the previous owner. Being a first-time owner, I was trying to keep the peace and establish a good relationship, but didn't realize how often it would be. Number two, every time needs to move it, he has to come over to ask me to move my car so he has room. Well, that's a pain in the butt. Why can't he park his RV somewhere else? My car is always parked in my original driveway, not the extension, so he really has to drive 10 to 15 feet into my driveway each time in order to get it out. I WFH, and he has spammed my doorbell before when I was on calls because he wanted me to move my car. I personally hate having to move my car off my property so somebody else can use access to my property. There's never a convenient time for this. He is retired and wants to use it often. Three, the concrete on my property, right where he has to drive over the curb, is cracking a lot. I've noticed it is getting worse each year I've been living here. It is absolutely related to moving a F-250 and plus an RV over it. My wife and I hate the mega driveway. It serves no purpose to us. We think it is an eyesore to have that much concrete spanning the front of our property. We also love gardening and have talked about getting rid of our side of the concrete and turning it into more garden space. We would love to plant a tree there. But at the same time, things are cordial, and I don't want to make an enemy out of a neighbor. It feels like we are going to reach a point where our driveway is broken enough that something needs to be done. I also don't know if he has any legal rights to use the part of my property since he's been using it for years since before we purchased the home. There was no easement agreement between him and the previous owner that I know of. The last time he asked me to move, I expressed concerns above, and he didn't, and I don't see this continuing to work as is. Any advice or insights is helpful. Well, you're kind of in a rock and a hard place because he's been using it for years, and sometimes that can cause like issues with the property if you don't have a signed easement. My property doesn't even go to the road. I have an easement. My driveway's an easement to get from the road to my property. I'm not exactly sure who owns the property, to be honest. So, beginning bit says, I would let your neighbor know that you plan on to tear up the mega driveway in the spring or whenever you plan to do it, so he can make plans to store his RV elsewhere. I would have a plan for putting it something in to block access as soon as the pavement is up because he seems like he might continue to drive over it and compact any topsoil you put down. And sticks the cat, sticks as in the river Styx. I agree with this and would also speak to a real estate attorney to compose a formal letter. Yeah. Prestigious Cable says if you're in California, talk to a real estate attorney before the 5-year anniversary of you moving in about prescriptive easement rights. But for the Grace says you can't acquire prescriptive rights via permitted use. However, the facts are unique, especially the construction of the driveway. It's possible the neighbor could argue an expressly granted easement. Then it's also possible the driveway was installed without permits. You really need a lawyer. I'm not saying get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Yeah, property rights are weird. In Michigan, someone can steal your house just by living in it. Yeah, it's true. You have to live in it quite a long time, but it's true. Next one is from Just No Mill. Mill lied about why my baby is crying. My feelings about mother-in-law have changed since I got pregnant. She's very cold towards me, and I just don't like interacting with her. The problem is we live 5 minutes away from their house. I gave birth. She tried to come to our house every day, but we stopped that. Husband told her that we can take care of the baby by ourselves. When we met once every week, she just rips the baby from my arms. She barely acknowledges that I'm there. When I feed him, she barely waits for him to finish. She doesn't let me burp him and wants to do it. She always has something to say about the baby, like he's too overdressed, his clothes don't fit right, we don't hold him right, and lots of other things. Tonight we were at their house and she took him on the couch. I was on the table with my husband. Suddenly we hear the baby cry very loud. She starts saying, "Ooh, I think he's hungry," and went to make him formula. But I thought to myself, this isn't his hungry cry. I heard her saying to my husband that the baby banged his head. I asked her what happened. She said she was holding him and the baby banged his head a little on her shoulder. She started to say that she's very worried and was nervous. I calmed my son and told her we need to go home to shower him and feed him and we left. The baby is fine, smiling as happy as always. I'm mad not because the accident happened. I'm mad because she tried to hide it. I'm sure that if he wasn't crying, she wouldn't tell him. I'm I'm tired of pretending every time I see her. I'm tired of faking smiling, tired of sitting there when she holds my son for too long. I just don't know what to do. My husband loves her very much and I can't stand the woman. I'm not confrontational at all and I don't know what to do. Sometimes you just kind of gotta let people. Like she shouldn't have lied. I'm not saying that, but other than that, snatching the baby is wrong. But also, you need to make sure that she does have grandma time. It's important to some people. Um, if you make sure that you're handing her the baby, sometimes that would help. I think. But if she still can't respect your boundaries, then I guess she doesn't get to see the baby. I mean, yeah, this is a rock and a hard place because you want to have a good conversation. You want your child um to have a relationship with the grandparent, especially when they're 5 minutes down the road. That's really close. Like we were always at my grandma's house when I was a kid. And she was further than 5 miles bike ride, 5 minutes bike ride. Um, yeah, maybe we could there in 5 minutes, 8 minutes maybe bike riding, 5 minutes by car. But yeah, it's hard. As the kid gets older, it'll get easier. Um, I'm not gonna back the mother completely because she seems like I mean, the mother-in-law was coming over every day. If she was coming over to help every day, I don't know why that would be a problem. And I get the grandmother wanting to burp the baby. It's like she's not if you're especially if you're breastfeeding, you can't feed it. You want to do something to help. Um, maybe reframe it to helping instead of snatching. Like, I get that. I mean, if that's all she can do, then let her do that. I think you're maybe overreacting a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. But I can see this from both sides. This is from Am I the Devil? And it is a two sick emojis. is, the, is the title. It's from originally from r slash changed my view. CMV, we should allow only women with living children to vote. No. My goal in making this suggestion is to support the pro life movement. Also, to give those who do or might vote much more of a stake in that privilege. I suggested this recently on r slash pro life, and it was pretty much peed on, but I think it's a good idea. No, it's not. It's a stupid idea. People do not give up their right to vote if they don't have kids. That's crazy. Also, are men going to be allowed to vote? I don't know if this is a guy or not. It doesn't have the name of the person. The idea that I expect all people to appreciate is this: it will place our country's future directly and completely in the hands of those who can be expected to care about it the most. Those who have the biggest stake in the same future. If men lose their kids, they can make more. Women have much more limited possibilities for having children. For them, the children they have may be the only ones they will ever get. So they can be expected to care about that future much more than anyone else. And some don't, and some do. Some could give a rat's ass the how about the world their children are inheriting, and others care a lot. And there are people with no kids that care a lot about what will happen after they pass. This is stupid. This is a stupid idea. The idea that I hoped pro lifers would appreciate this. It shows that pro lifers actually do value women. We get tagged a lot with anti women views as though half of the slaughtered or more weren't going to be women if they had the chance. It's also a way of trying to bring down the abortion rate without using the law to punish people whose concerns you will never share. So we should force people to have kids. That's dumb too. Some people shouldn't have kids. And who knows, if we as a society value women more, I think this is a way of doing this. Maybe they will value themselves more and indulge less in the behaviors that lead to abortion. What behaviors are leading to abortion, sir? Maybe you should keep your sperm to yourself, and that would cause less abortions. Keep your sperm to yourself. Edit, just to be clear, the only people who will be able to vote in my scheme will be women who have living children. Sorry, I didn't make that clear earlier. Only women. Only women get to vote. There you have it. Misogynistic men are going to love that one. Lovely Lotus either says trying to sell conservatism, completely removing the right to vote for men is certainly a choice. Starving Phoenix answers, it's certainly sampling bias, but basically every mother I know is staunchly pro choice. Those who aren't absolutely are in their very special circumstance. Pregnancy isn't for the weak, and even pro life mothers realize just how much can go wrong. Exactly. And the original guy says, similarly, every pro life mother I've spoken to has been the actually aligns with pro choice positions, but doesn't recognize that as being pro choice sort. Yeah. Yeah, most women are pro choice. They are. Even if they don't recognize that they are, they are. Because they know what it takes. Moms especially know what it takes. No one should go through that unless they absolutely want to. Because it'd be hard. It'd be hard on you. Even the easiest ones are not easy. This is from Server Life. The customers who frequent my job sat in my section today. Oh, that's interesting. These three sisters come frequent my job. Whenever they dine in, they always ask for ridiculous things or complain. The younger sister explained to me her order. She said she wanted a chicken biscuit, but she wanted the biscuit to not be cooked, and she wanted her beverage with chopped bacon inside of her water. Who are these people? Raw dough and bacon inside water? What? I asked her, what do you mean? And she says, I want the batter to be completely out of the biscuit because I can't eat the biscuit fully cooked. I explained to her that we cannot do that. She started to raise her voice at me and said that I'm not treating her with respect for not getting her what she wants and how the customer is always right. Customer is always right in matters of taste. That does not mean the customer is always right in every other aspect. And if that's not a thing that a restaurant can do, that's not a thing the restaurant can do. She then started involving other customers complaining about me and my coworker. Steps in and tells her just stop and that we cannot fulfill any of your needs because you know they are not on our menu. She and her sisters got up and stormed out. Bye. Bye. All of my coworkers and I dread to see them whenever they come in. Ban them. Ban them. If they're going to act like this, you can ban them. General Canoob says, I was a manager, so it's totally different, but I banned people like that. See, told you. My most used reason is that they were disrupting service and distracting my staff. I no longer want them as customers. It is our right to deny service for any reason for anyone who makes a scene or keeps my waiters from doing their job when you are no longer welcome. And the OP says, exactly. We have told our manager about them. He knows nothing about it. It's annoying because we have to serve them and they disrespect us and complain every time. So rude. So rude. Oh. Yeah, ban them. Ban them. Nobody needs to take abuse. It's silly. So now we have expectation versus reality. Do, do, do. I don't know why I do that. It's entitled, But It Tastes Great. Okay. So I'm gonna try this. Do, 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 do. Hold on, bear with me just a moment. Trying something new. That's what we're for, to try something new. All right. So this is the expectation. And they say we wanted to make something on our own, but managed to fail almost every aspect along the way, except for taste, which was surprisingly good. Promised to make new on the weekend, so fingers crossed. And this is cute and it's pretty simple. Even I could tackle that one, I think. I'm the least artistic person you've ever met. Oops, I forgot to do it on the other one. Oh my goodness. It's still cute. It's not exactly like the other one, but it's super cute. It's still happy. See, it's so happy. I don't know. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine. It's better than what I would do. Bad Revolutionary says yours is supremely adorable, and it is. It's very cute. And Autistic Tumor Girl says, I love it. It's kind of on par with how we got call greyhounds dogs. Dogs are the first picture, greyhounds are the second. I'm not going to show you that. It's very cute, though. Yeah, it's super cute. Super cute. All right. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I go live at least 4 times a week, usually about noon Eastern time. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send it to us via entitled submission. If you would like an email link to the current day's live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com. And the email is also in the description for your convenience. All right. I'm adding Zillow Gone Wild for some strange real estate stuff because it's funny. It can be so funny. Um, so just for over $700 a square foot, you can buy your own piece of oceanfront paradise. And it looks like this. Yes, your oceanfront paradise of an empty kind of almost lot. Could you even build on that? I don't think you could build on that. Oh. Oh, and there's a nice looks like a nice drainage thing right there. Spilling right into your lot. Isn't that fun? Don't you want that done? Oh my goodness. How many of these are there? One from a I mean, if you're up here, shouldn't you own this down here? Oh. Ooh, drone footage. That's fun. Another drone shot. Oh, and right on the Pacific Coast Highway too, so you know that's gonna be fun. I don't get why it's so small. Okay. What I really want to know though, is it really possible to rebuild a site after this after 100% damage? From where I'm from, we don't let homes be built over the tide line. There are no other homes there. Google Street View has 3-year-old images showing the previous homes at this location. If you travel north a couple of hundred yards, it switches to a current view showing the devastation. Wild. And they have, we're going for a walk. Would you like to go for a walk with me? We're going for a walk. I'm assuming that these were the homes that were there before. There's no homes now. Oh, I have to turn around here. So it won't let me go any further. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay. And there, and that's afterwards. Yikes. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. And they want to rebuild there? First of all, those houses were too close to the road for me. Too close to the road. Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to buy there. I think if I was on that hill, I would buy it. Um, I have looked at property that had a lakefront across the street from the house, and that was fine. If you don't have kids, I wouldn't want kids crossing there. But yeah, I wouldn't build there. That's insanity. The next read is from Am I Overreacting? AIO if I stop talking to this man. And we have, of course, I guess I'm sharing a lot today, aren't I? Um, this text exchange. Well, I'm a fan of learning and reading new books. Boo, lol. Do you like reading? I do. I have an entire Nancy Drew collection, star collection. I don't think I know who Nancy Drew is. Is that some smut crap? Oh my goodness. I thought you said you like reading. Oh man. Nancy Drew is like the Hardy Boys. It's a really old mystery series. I'll check it out, but I'm more into Dr. Seuss or self-help books. I don't know how much women like those. I know how much women like those smut books, though. Do you drink or smoke weed? Well, I mean, some women like those books. Other women do not like those books. Why are you judging all women the same way? Repulsive ad says, I can almost guarantee this guy does not read books, let alone self-help books. 100%. Colo Kelly says she should not F him in a box. She should not F him wearing socks. Mr. Pink Gold said she should not F him here or there. She should not F him anywhere. Person non corpus says she should not send him a reply. She should not talk to such a guy. Not in a box, not in socks, not with a mouse, not in a house. I don't like these message spams. I do not like them, Sam. I am. And this is why I go to Reddit. Stuff like this. Oh, no. Ugh. No, just say no to that guy. The next read is from Traumatize Them Back. Mind your own business, sir. This is Flaird's matched energy. This happened a few weeks ago, and I'm still proud of how I handled it. For context, I'm a lady in my mid 20s, and that's currently dealing with some medical stuff that has made me put on a bit of weight. I've been trying to eat healthier, but honestly, it's hard enough to stay positive without strangers chiming in with their 2 cents, especially when you're having health problems. Keep your thoughts to yourself. So I'm at the grocery store putting together a salad from the bar for lunch when this random man decides to share his expert advice on my body. Guys, don't do this. It's gross. Him, sweetie, salad isn't going to fix all that. At first, I tried to ignore him, but he kept going. Have you thought about going to the gym? It might make you feel better. You don't look like you're very happy. Huh. Well, she doesn't look like you're very happy. She's very happy right now, guy, because of you. You are the problem, sir. I don't know what kind of energy the universe thought I had that day, but clearly it wasn't the smile and nod kind. So I turned to him, smiled sweetly, and said, Wow, thanks for that, Dr. Stranger. Would you like to hear my chronic illness and how steroids have been wrecking my body? Or should we just skip to the part where I educate you on minding your own business? Good for you. He mumbled something about just trying to help. Why do people worry about other people's weight? You're not helping. You are not helping. You are just being a jerk. and scurried off like the roach he was. The cashier gave me a little thumbs up as I walked by. It's wild how people feel so entitled to comment on someone else's body like it's public property. Hopefully, he'll learn to zip it next time. What the Frill said, sorry, I wasn't actively doing lunges while scooping veggies. What a donut. No, he's not a donut. Donuts are nice and delicious. He's a dolt. Dowager Queen Bagel says, but have you tried that though? Obviously, sarcasm. Mama Ani says, squats while standing in line. Just because you're standing doesn't mean you have to be stationary. Also, that guy says, you guys joke about this, but my colleague was literally doing burpees at a work social to get his workout in. Oh my goodness. People, mind your own business. Everything on earth is not your business. Got it? Got it? Our confession. I never told my mom how it broke my heart that she lost my T. T, like TEAT. This was over a decade ago. When I went off to college, my mom decided to reorganize my room as she wanted to put her hobby desk in there. I was fine as long as she didn't throw anything out. She found a tin of strawberry tea in my room and put it in the kitchen cupboard. Much months later, she found the strawberry tea in the kitchen cupboard, didn't remember it had originally been in my room, and saw that it expired long ago and she threw it out. When I came home and eventually discovered what happened, I was brokenhearted and cried buckets. She couldn't understand why I was so up about it. The reason was because that tea had been given to me by my aunt, my mom's oldest sister, who had been like a mother to her and like a grandmother to me. Shortly before she passed away, my aunt had gotten me into the fancy tea party thing when I was a kid, and I had wanted to hold on to that strawberry tea forever. Well, I still haven't told my mom why, and I'll never tell her. I know it was a genuine mistake and that she misses her sister every day. So, yeah, kind of just got to keep this one quiet. I don't know. I think you should tell your mom, like, hey, just so you know, the reason I was upset, and I'm not mad at you, but the reason I was upset was because of that tea was special from Auntie. Ingram says it won't be the same, and it might be refreshing to get a new supply of strawberry tea to enjoy your aunt's memory. Twiggy Mop says, I love this idea. It won't be the same, but reassociating strawberry tea in her honor is not a bad idea. Plus, it'll be fresh, and Obi will be able to connect the smell with as well with her aunt. That might help. I don't know. I don't know if that would help or not. Bolin Rose says, oh, that's sad, and I'm sorry. I agree with your decision not to tell your mom, though. Maybe on an anniversary, you could suggest having a little tea tasting party. You can chat about all the lovely memories you had together. That's a sweet idea. If mom likes tea. Yeah, that's a bummer. It's nobody, I mean, nobody did anything on purpose, but maybe don't clean your kid's room and throw away their stuff because you might not know what it means. My husband has a real hard time throwing stuff away because of trauma when he was 7 years old when his brother-in-law was killed in an accident and his toys were left outside, and he was very upset about it. And his mother also threw his toys away regularly. She had 7 kids. The toys got to go somewhere, dude. But yeah, it's sad. And I have a hard time sharing because my sisters basically destroyed my toys when I was a kid. Everybody has trauma around their toys and their memories as a child, I think, unless you were very privileged. Our next read is from Am I the A-hole? AITA for leaving my friend stranded after she showed up late for the 3rd time. And it is Flair, not the a-hole, so. Hey guys, I'm 23 and I drive a small Honda Accord, and I usually give my friend Tina, who's 22, rides to work since we live close by and started working around the same time. We both agreed that she helps with gas every 2 weeks and I pick her up on my way. It worked fine for the first month without any problems. After the first month, she started running late frequently. Every single time to text her, I'm outside, she'd take 10 or 15 minutes to come out, sometimes even longer. I tried to be patient, but I kept showing up late at work because of it. My boss even noticed, which is not a good sign. So I decided to talk to her about it. Last Friday, I warned her that I only wait 5 minutes because I couldn't afford another late mark to risk my job. When I pulled up, I tested her here. She said, 1 sec. At waiting 5 minutes, I called, but she didn't answer. I waited another minute, called again, same thing, and I left. Fair? About 15 minutes later, she spammed my phone with tons of messages saying I abandoned her and made her walk in the heat, and that she missed the first part of her shift. Oh well. Oh well, should have been there on time, dude. Should have been there on time. This whole thing was completely avoidable by you. I told her I was sorry, but I had already warned her multiple times. She said I should have waited because that's what friends do. No, friends do not jeopardize their job for you. They don't, and they don't need to. I can't stand people who are late personally, and I get tired of waiting around for them because I'm on time and you're wasting my time and my enjoyment. We're supposed to go do something fun. You're wasting my enjoyment. If it's for a work purpose, you're wasting my time and I need to get to work. I don't like being late to work either. I leave early just to get to work on time. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're really late. She hasn't spoken to me since. One of our mutual friends says I was kind of harsh and could have just waited 5 extra minutes to keep the peace. No, stop keeping the peace. Stop keeping the peace. Now I'm wondering if I was too rigid about it. I know life happens, but I feel like she just didn't respect my time. AITA for leaving without her after she made me late so many times. Infamous Purple says she hasn't spoken to me since, and one of our mutual friends says I was kind of harsh and could have waited 5 minutes to keep the peace. Tell mutual friends to drive the inconsiderate late person to work. This is completely avoidable. Although you could have said you should text before you leave. That way, when you're there, they should be ready. And if she's still late, that's entirely on her. But this is entirely on her. She knows what time you're going to be there. You're there at the same time every day. She can't schedule her time correctly. What's her problem? She's an adult. Sounds like they don't have kids. And even if she did have kids, that's still a thing that you can be on time. Cold Try says, or LP says, one of them said, what are friends for if not inconvenience? Oh my goodness, really? I just stopped replying at that point. Yeah, no kidding. Far Ad says, how about friends don't treat you like you're an effing doormat? Who are these people? Sounds like you need to start putting anyone who thinks you ought to be grateful have welcome tattooed on your forehead and permanent ignore because dang. Professional Ruin says, how about friends don't endanger your livelihood when they're counting on you for a favor? Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Okay, our next read is from I Don't Work Here Lady. She got mad I wouldn't work for her. I was shopping in a department store. I was literally the only there to buy a pair of socks before class. I happened to be standing near some smaller items, likely marketed as stocking stuffers or other holiday things. A woman who is like to be around 68 or so walks over and sees the Floam kit near me and goes, oh, I don't like those. They get all sticky on my hands. I'm looking for a toy for my grandson. I politely look at her and say, I don't work here. The death glare this woman gave me. I'm not sure she was upset that I wasn't working there or if she was upset that I didn't go out of my way to be her personal shopper as I had responsibilities and commitments. Then she walks over to another random person dressed in black, the s- school uniform, the store uniform, and gives the exact same speech. It wasn't just, oh, making small talk. Lady was looking for an employee and got mad. Maybe look for someone with a name badge, lady. Deathlands Muty says I might be giving her too much credit, but maybe she was hoping for advice. I remember one time I thought I was going to have my own and I don't work here moment when this guy approached me in a store and was Christmas shopping for my daughter and goes, excuse me. But then instead of asking if I worked there, he's asked me something I wasn't expected at all. Are you a mom? I guess he saw all the toys in my cart and took a gamble. He was a younger dude who had become a father relatively recently and wanted an experienced mom advice on an age appropriate gifts for a 1 month old because he had no clue what to get. Wooden Permit said, this is wholesome. And there's a new subreddit. I'm going to open the link on that and move it over here for us. Because you never know when you're going to need a new subreddit. Like we don't have enough already. We don't. We don't. Oops. Our next read is from True Off My Chest. I messed up big time. I made banana bread last night with canna butter. My 15-year-old found it in the fridge. It was meant to move it to the beer fridge before he got home from school. I had to work later than expected. He ate most of it. I'm the worst parent in the world. He's blitzed and think it's funny once I explain why everything feels floaty. Oh my. I've ordered pizza and I'm getting him water and regularly checking on him. Yes, I'm a terrible parent. Well, at least hopefully, the kid's first experience was at the hands of his parents. Just lurking Fox said on a positive note, he had his first trip in a kind of controlled environment with supervision and loving care afterwards. Helpful builder answers. On top of it, he now knows how he'll react to it and be able to make better decisions about it in the future. Oh, that's excellent. That's so funny. Better than them having to break into your bedroom and steal it. Just like friends of mine. I never did that because mine didn't have that, but friends of mine, friends of mine certainly did. I don't know how I got away with it personally. I would have never gotten away with it. Although I did have 3 kids, probably didn't who depended on. Um, Next read is from What Do I Do? My psychologist talked to me about my best friend. Had therapy, told her stuff about your parents, lol. Also, she wants you to speak up when she says something you disagree with, lol. Said it will build your relationship. Yeah, I don't talk about me to my best friend. I don't know. I'm really upset, but try and quickly sum this situation up. My 34 female friend and I, 32 female, both see the same psychologist. My friend returned me. Okay, that's a mistake. And you should report the psychologist because they should not be talking to your friend about your sessions on their session time. You should be talking about them on your session time if you agree to have them in your session. My own personal sessions with the psychologist, we talk about our friendship at times, and the psychologist once asked me to ask my friend for information about my parents. I have a hard time remembering my past, and we basically grew up together. Okay, that's appropriate. Squirrel. But this is where the professional friendship lines get blurry for me. My friend sent this message above recently, and it confused me at first. I was diagnosed ASD. Okay, what's ASD? I thought I knew all the disorders, but apparently I don't. Oh, autism spectrum disorder. I don't know why that wasn't clicking. Okay, so so she was recently diagnosed with autism. I was diagnosed with ASD recently, so I'm still trying to come to terms with that. But after showing her this message to my partner, they said it was extremely unprofessional of my psychologist and not to see her anymore. I agree with that. They're not wrong. I'm sad because this is the first time I've ever spoken to a therapist or medical professional before, and it's been going so well, even with the ASD diagnosis. We're working on getting me accommodations because I have a hard time working, etc. So I worry that I will never get those accommodations, have to do this all over again with somebody else. Kabudsky says, hard pass on that therapist, wildly unprofessional. Most therapists will not accept you as a patient if they are seeing someone in your life due to conflict of interest. Yeah, because they could accidentally say something. But this one is going out of her way to say stuff, to bring up other people that you know in their therapy session. That's just wildly inappropriate. Own Attention says this warrants a report to the local licensing board. They could and should face disciplinary action. 100%. Happy Go Lucky says isn't this technically a violation of HIPAA? No. Somebody says unless she signed a HIPAA form. No, unless she signed a HIPAA form saying that the therapist is allowed to release speak with this particular friend, then yes. Yeah, it is a violation of HIPAA unless they have express permission. Oh, okay. Mildly infuriating. They got their ATM card eaten by the machine, which really stinks. I've been there, done that. And you have to contact your financial institution, not the one that stole your card. Try to take $40 out for cash only food place, and then the ATM malfunctioned and ate my card. Realistic Pudding said you got to take the whole ATM now. It's only fair. That's true. JS Pear said it stole your property. I expect faster way to get the ATM open to get your card back. Oh, you're not getting the card back. You're getting a different card, but you're not getting that card back. Berner said this will take a lot of time and energy as a tech would be dispatched. Good luck, and then you'd have to go show the card. Typically easier to get a replacement ATM card FedExed. Um, somebody says it's not an option. Really, not getting your card a new card FedEx to you is not an option. Yes, it is. I don't know. It's craziness. And now we have bye bye job. Hate has no place here. Woman loses her job after homophobic slurs in Fort Lauderdale go viral. There's a neighbor dispute over parking on grass and dog poop left turns nasty. Um, Allison Murphy shouted homophobic slurs and she lost her job because of it. She continues to say horrible stuff about how she was going to fight us, mess us up, damage our property. Conflict escalated after Baker, who's the quoter, wrote a note asking his neighbor to stop parking on his grass and to clean up after her dog. And she responded with homophobic. Her father shouted homophobic slurs first. So like daughter, like father, like daughter. Father drove by the window and made sure to flip me off. I'm going to the cops because I'm tired of you harassing me. He said Murphy's father got out of his car and said he wanted to fight me. And then she got involved after. Officers didn't arrest anyone, handed out pamphlets suggesting a restraining order. After the video went viral, Valley Forge Fabrics released a statement saying Murphy was no longer an employee there. Once we were made aware of this incident, we took immediate action, the statement said, also adding, hate has no place here. Good for them. Here's the company's statement. We are deeply saddened and disturbed by the homophobic comments recently brought to life on social media, which were made by a now former employee of our company. As of this morning, she is no longer with Valley Forge Fabrics. We want to be absolutely clear the views expressed by this individual do not reflect the values of our company, our culture, or the principles we uphold. Once we were made aware of this incident, we took immediate action. Valley Forge Fabrics, that's hard to say, is proud to be a company that stands for diversity, inclusion, and respect. We are committed to a safe, supportive environment for all, regardless of race, gender, sexual identity, or background. Hate has no place here. To our clients, customers, team members, and community, we hear you, we stand with you, we remain committed to fostering an environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and safe. We understand that words alone are not enough. We continue to actively review our internal practices to ensure that we continue to uphold the highest standards of accountability, inclusion, and respect within our workplace. Thank you to those who brought this to our attention. Your voices matter, and we are listening. Sincerely, Valley Forge Fabrics. Well, good for them. That is what you're supposed to be. Professor Jim says, I bet that rotten dad works at the spot on the back of the shirt he's wearing in the video. Where is that at? Oh, I didn't play the video. I'm not playing the video. Probably. On my Mephistophanius says, yeah, the people who work at Sun Consult might not be happy with that association, even if he doesn't. Dadowski says, I always wonder how often this doesn't reflect our values. Also means we know what kind of person this is, and we just thought they knew better than to say this stuff in public. Like our values are keeping our bigotry behind closed doors, but this company's statement seems to come to a good place. Vaguely Artistic said Hobby Lobby would have given her a promotion. They're probably right. Fullerton Jr. says Hobby Lobby would have paid the local news to sweep the story under the rug. Yeah. Yeah, she can go get a job at Hobby Lobby because they don't want her. Best of Redditor updates. My 22-year-old neighbor, 70s female, told me about a woman, 20s female, visiting my boyfriend, 22 male, when I'm gone. Well, that's disturbing. It was originally posted in Relationship Advice on March 19th, 2019. Going to keep this short because I really don't know what else to say. Been together with my boyfriend for 3 years and he moved in with me last year. Was already living here for a year or so and developed a friendship with my lovely neighbor. She's retired, a really sweet lady, and she basically knows everyone in the neighborhood and sits home most of the day. I represent that remark. Today she came to me and said that I don't know everything that's going on in the neighborhood though because I'm not a busybody. Today she came to me and said she had something to tell me but I shouldn't get mad at her. I told her I would never get angry with her and to go ahead. She said that when I've been gone, probably late shift or when I'm visiting someone, I don't know, she has seen a woman come into my house and leave before I come back. I mean, there are innocent explanations to that, but it is sus. I pressed her for more details, and she said that as far as she knows, she's come by 3 times and that she thought I should know. When she leaves, she hugs and kisses my boyfriend, and she believes it stays for at least an hour or two. Got some generic details from her appearance, but nothing specific. Of course, all alarm bells are going off in my head. There are no signs my boyfriend's cheating, and we talked about how we would rather end things instead. He did start working overtime more, but I have a friend at this company who talked about this too, and he's bringing in bigger paychecks, so that adds up. I don't want to jump to conclusions. How do I approach this? What do I do? How do I confront my boyfriend? I don't know anything for sure, and it could be anything at this point. I'm really freaking out now. Campus Tour says these are the relevant comments, sorry. Campus Tour says 2 approaches. Hey, who's your friend that visits when I'm gone? 2, I know about the other woman you're seeing. You have one chance to sit down right here, right now, and come clean 100%. Otherwise, you're moving out. You're moving out now. One lie, one omission, and you're gone. If you have any way fear his reaction or plan on throwing him out anyway, I have a few friends on standby. OOP, this is pretty useful. Thanks. I'm going with number 1 and work towards number 2 if it doesn't check out. I'm confronting him tomorrow. Believe in Karma says, your give neighbor your number. Ask her to call you when she sees the visitor. If what she's seeing is you going to work and not realizing it's you. Squirrel. This squirrel's in my backyard. He's cute. He's very busy. It kind of did turn cold. Update, March 13th, 2019, 3 days later. I almost didn't make this post because I feel so stupid, but there are so many people who wanted an update, so why not? Thanks to everyone who gave advice last time. The next morning, I decided to confront my boyfriend. I wanted the truth from him. I was very upset, to say the least. So when I asked him who the woman was that was coming over when I was gone, he looked kind of confused and then started chuckling. I asked him why he was laughing and that I wasn't joking around. He's been preparing to propose to me, and one of my best friends came over to look at the rings and talk about how and where he should do it. I feel really guilty for assuming he was cheating, but even he admitted that it didn't look very good. He showed me some of the plans he made and the text between them, but that's all going to change things up now that I know. I kind of ruined the surprise. Oh well. I called my friend afterwards and I couldn't believe what happened and we shared a few laughs. He's been working overtime to get me a ring and I don't know how I missed all the signs. She only came over twice, so I guess my neighbor is not that sharp anymore, lol. Looking back, it all makes sense. My friend has been low key asking about getting engaged, what kind of ring I would like, etc. I feel really stupid and bad for assuming the worst, but my boyfriend doesn't hold it against me and said he would probably have handled it the same way. I'm so happy we're cool now. The thought of cheating was so tough for me. I already called in sick on Monday. For anyone wondering, I already told him I was going to say yes. Aw, well, that's a bummer. That's a bummer ruining the engagement, the surprise engagement. Aw. An ex says I had an elderly neighbor tell my ex-wife that I had a girl coming over while she was at work. It was my daughter. Like I said, there could be an innocent explanation for that. Obviously there was. It was her best friend or husband trying to do something nice for her. Don't always assume the worst, I guess. I guess. And finally we have made me smile. Turn off the sound. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. Dog refuses to get out of bed, then proceeds to fall asleep looking after baby. Oops, I did that wrong. Hold on. I have to share this with you. Here is the lazy dog. I don't know how to make that bigger because these are not the controls. I guess it's just going to be small, guys. Sorry. Dog won't get out of bed. Dog likes the kid. That's so sweet. Oh, look at them. They're so cute. Look at how cute they are. Oh, good Oh. Okay, we got to end it on that. That is the sweetest thing you're ever going to see. That's the sweetest thing we're going to see today. All right, I guess we're done here. I'm tearing up because that was so sweet. Again, sometimes laugh for happy reasons. All right, well, I will be back tomorrow at noon. Hopefully, I won't get any phone calls in the middle of the thing. Um, and you all have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you all, my biddies.